Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today, by far one of the most requested stories of the day today, I can't believe this is a thing, and that is the sports channel ESPN has decided to pull announcer Robert Lee from a college football game, wait for it, because his name is similar to that of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Reportedly, Lee was going to be one of the announcers calling a University of Virginia home football game, but it was then learned that Robert Lee was moved by ESPN to a different game. Now, at first, the reaction was, 1, that's stupid, 2, you banned the guy because he had a similar name? But ESPN released a full statement trying to explain that it wasn't a ban, it was a mutual decision, saying, "We collectively made the decision with Robert to switch games as the tragic events in Charlottesville were unfolding, simply because of the coincidence of his name. In that moment, it felt right to all parties. It's a shame that this is even a topic of conversation, and we regret that who calls play-by-play for a football game has become an issue." So they say it wasn't a ban, it was a mutual decision. But still, the question remains, why? You mentioned that there's a coincidence that all parties agreed, but why? Well, soon after this, we got more information regarding the decision-making process. Reportedly, an anonymous ESPN exec sent an email to a reporter that read, "This wasn't about offending anyone. It was about the reasonable possibility that because of his name, he would be subjected to memes and jokes and who knows what else. Think about it. Robert Lee comes to town to do a game in Charlottesville. The reaction to our switching a young anonymous play-by-play guy for a streamed ACC game is off the charts. Reasonable proof that the meme/joke possibility was real. So when the protests in Charlottesville were happening, we raised with him the notion of switching games, something we do all the time. We didn't make him, we asked him. Eventually, we mutually agreed to switch. No biggie until someone leaked it to embarrass us and him. They got their way. That's what happened. No politically correct efforts, no race issues, just trying to be supportive of a young guy who felt it best to avoid the potential zoo." And my response to that is, really? You were so worried that your announcer with one of the most common Asian last names in the world was going to be memed that you're like, no, we can't do it. It just got me thinking, like, does ESPN have an MRAD, a meme risk assessment department? Like, sirens are going off, they're like, "We got a code, Harambe!" Yes, sir, the names almost match up perfectly. I mean, we're talking about memes of the dank variety. Also, the argument that because people are joking about it now, they're memeing about this situation right now, that is evidence that the risk was real. That's stupid. Rule 743 of the internet says when someone doesn't want you to joke about something and the internet finds out, they're gonna joke about it. That's just how it works. If you let things go as is, yeah, there might have been a few people making jokes in a stupid BuzzFeed article, but that's it. This is like being so worried that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot while you're putting the gun away, you shoot yourself in the dick. It's idiotic, and what's kind of funny is you're taking this guy, Robert Lee, who has 2 decades of experience, and you're boiling him down to just a name. Also, I've seen people trying to attribute this to ESPN being a liberal organization, but for me, this is an apolitical move. To me, this is an example of paranoid overthinking cowardice. You're so worried about an embarrassing or annoying situation, your actions then fulfill the prophecy. But it's on that note that I do want to thank ESPN for essentially accomplishing the same thing Pepsi did all those months ago. Thank you for providing such an incredibly stupid situation. People of all backgrounds, all different creeds and beliefs could all point and go, "Oh, that's stupid." In a world as toxic as it is right now, sometimes the mutual making fun of something is the most we can all come together. But that said, I would love to know your thoughts about this situation, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me. My word is not gospel, so let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. But from there, I want to share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, of course, the fantastic ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They put all the tickets in one place, then give it a 0 to 100 score to let you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Green is good, red is bad. I've got the app on my phone, and it is by far the easiest way to shop for tickets for a baseball game, a concert, or whatever. So if you want to make the smart move like many from the nation already have, click that link in the description down below, download it, and use coupon code PHIL for $20 off your first ticket purchase. And the first bit of awesome is Elon Musk has revealed what the SpaceX spacesuits look like. 1, that looks badass and how I always imagined the future would look. And 2, and most importantly here, Elon Musk notes that this is not a mock-up. He says that this actually works, that it's already been tested to double vacuum pressure, and more info to come. Main point, that's badass. Then we got a trailer for season 7 of American Horror Story, and 1, I want to say I'm sharing this because the trailer looks kind of cool. 2, a question I have to ask, is it worth it to watch all of the seasons? I loved Asylum, but then I just stopped watching 3 episodes into the 3rd season and never started watching again. Any of the subsequent seasons that you would recommend? Then we got a brand new carpool karaoke video. Then we got a brand new Overwatch short. You don't even need to play the game to appreciate it. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. Then in a fantastic quickie update, we have to talk about H3H3 Productions. That of course, Ethan and Ela Klein, we've talked about them on the show multiple times. One of the big reasons is they were being sued. And it was this really disgusting situation where they were being sued by another YouTuber for copyright infringement. That YouTuber, who we won't even mention their name, was not a fan of the videos H3H3 Productions was putting out on them. At first, they demanded money, the videos be removed, that H3H3 Productions put out an apology video. And that YouTuber ended up actually suing H3H3 Productions. And that's when you might remember I found out about the situation. I started a GoFundMe. The community just came together, raised so much money for their legal fees, and then of course they had to go through the just ridiculously long process of fighting it out. And I'll say now what I said then, I didn't do it just because like I'm just such a great guy. This was an immensely important fair use case. If they lost, it meant horrible shit for everyone else. But the fantastic news today is that Ethan Klein tweeted out, "We won the lawsuit. Video coming soon. Huge victory for fair use on YouTube." And that just makes me so happy as both a creator and a fan of what they're putting out. While I have a slight relief that common sense seemed to prevail today, I can't even imagine how relieved they are. This is a point I've hit on in the past. Anytime there was good news or the community came together, everyone was like, yay! But it was important to remember outside of that, the people actually being sued then had to continue dealing with it day in, day out. Also, I'll link to the full document of the judgment of this case in the links down below. It explains why certain things were decided, but I also love that there is a legal document that reads, "Ethan Klein refers to plaintiff as the king of CringeTube, and defendants mock plaintiff's parkour ability, sarcastically stating that plaintiff, quote, thinks he's a parkour expert." But the note that I want to end this story on isn't just a congrats to Ethan and Hila, it is also a huge thank you. I have to imagine there were moments of immense stress where you maybe just felt like, what if we just give in? Let's figure out a way to settle, let's just make this go away, but you fought it out. So truly, thank you. And then let's talk about tasers. Axon, the company formerly known as Taser, claims that their tasers have only directly killed 24 people. And they say of those who have died, it's not the shock that kills them, but the deaths were either because of falls or fires that started because of the discharge of the weapon. But that number has now been called into question thanks to a Reuters investigative report. Reuters put out a huge report saying they found 1,005 cases in the US where the person died after police used the weapon on them. They say they also found 712 autopsy reports, and in 153 of those autopsies, stun guns were specifically cited as a cause of or contributing factor to the death. They also found that around 25% killed were suffering from mental health issues. Most were unarmed. And so this is a big deal for two reasons. The first being that Reuters is essentially accusing Axon of lying, although Axon has responded to Reuters saying that their report is misleading, saying most of the deaths exposed involved police force, also saying the autopsies had not been peer-reviewed. But the argument back against Axon is there are over 400 cases where there are court documents that specifically detail what happened. And even if you were only counting those instead of the full 1,000 number, and around 25% of those, the only police force listed is Taser. And the second reason this is a big deal is reportedly 90% of police agencies use Tasers, seen as a safer alternative to guns, which I will say is accurate. It's not a non-lethal weapon, it is a less lethal weapon. But if anything, I think this report from Reuters shows that there needs to be more research into this. Taking into consideration how lethal a weapon is will change who will use it and when they will use it. And then we had hate in the news, well, for a lot of reasons. Specifically, what I'm going to talk about right now is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has decided to heavily crack down on hate crimes being committed online. So the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, along with the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, announced a plan for more prosecutions of online hate crimes within England and Wales. Now, this is a big expansion of policies already in place in Scotland. In addition, they are pushing for stiffer sentences. And the big thing that people are either freaking out about or they're very happy about is the decision that prosecutors will treat online hate crimes the same as face-to-face crimes. And it's here that the CPS claims that targeting social media is a necessity as people live more and more of their lives online. But for a lot of you, before we go even further, we need to cover what a hate crime is in the UK. And the reason for that is there's quite a difference between the United States and the UK here. In the United States, as defined by the FBI on their official government website, they define a hate crime as a traditional offense like murder, arson, or vandalism with an added element of bias, adding that a criminal offense against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by an offender's bias against a race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. But adding, hate itself is not a crime, and the FBI is mindful of protecting freedom of speech and other civil liberties. In the UK, according to the CPS, a hate crime is any criminal offense which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by hostility or prejudice based on a person's race or perceived race, religion or perceived religion, sexual orientation or perceived sexual orientation, disability or perceived disability, and any crime motivated by hostility or prejudice against a person who is transgender or perceived to be transgender. And while the UK does have freedom of expression, there are exemptions. And the things that aren't protected and thus would be a crime include threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior intending or likely to cause harassment, alarm, or distress. And so that's the main difference here. In the UK, hate speech is not seen as free speech, it is seen as a hate crime. So essentially now, saying off-color racist remarks online is an offense if someone thinks you're projecting a prejudice against them. In the US, you can put up a burning American cross, you can chant racist slogans. In the UK, you have incidents like in 2010 with Harry Taylor. He left anti-religious pamphlets in a prayer room. The chaplain was offended. Harry Taylor ends up being prosecuted and sentenced for that. And just like the first story, this comes after Charlottesville, which according to the DPP, Allison Sanders was a factor in the CPS's decision, saying whether shouted in their face on the street, daubed on a wall, or tweeted into their living room, hateful abuse can have a devastating impact on victims. Additionally, she cited that after the May attacks in Manchester, anti-Muslim crimes went up 5-fold. Also noting after the June London attack, crimes against Muslims went up 3-fold. The CPS also has more services to make reporting hate crimes easier for victims. So what does all of this mean? Well, obviously there are free speech concerns. Some saying this is an attack on other think, while others are saying this is just an update, this makes sense. Also, most likely we're gonna see the number of people being prosecuted for hate crimes go up. Last year alone, there were 15,000 prosecutions for hate crimes. With the inclusion of the internet, that's gonna of course go up. And that's an even bigger deal because the CPS has been successful in convincing the courts of uplifting over half of all sentences. That being making the sentence harsher because of the nature of the crime. And that's actually where I'm gonna end today's show. And two things to end on here. One, I'd love to know your thoughts here regarding hate speech and free speech just in general. And two, if you were wondering, yes, it is awesome to realize that after you've shot an entire video, there is part of your hair that is trying to secede from the union. But yeah. And remember, if you like this video, you like what I do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss these daily videos, which actually, if you did miss yesterday's Philip DeFranco show, you can click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you want to watch the newest behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.